Hi everyone. Today we are going to look at the passive voice. What it is, how to form it, and why it's so useful in English. In a passive sentence, the subject receives the action instead of doing it. Look at this structure. An example for this could be: the Eiffel Tower was built by Gustave Eiffel in 1889. Here, the Eiffel Tower is the subject, but it receives the action. By Gustave Eiffel is optional. You only include this information if it is really necessary or relevant. If not, you don't need it. You can take it out. Fun fact: you hear this all the time in your life, like, "My keys were stolen," "the meeting was cancelled," "she was fired." It is not just for textbooks. A basic passive sentence can be formed using either a direct object, which answers the questions what, or an indirect object, which answers the question whom. Sometimes you only have one or the other, sometimes both. When both exist, choose the subject based on what sounds more natural. For example, "she gave her son a gift" becomes "a gift was given to her son." The focus here is on the gift, the what. It could also become "her son was given a gift," and the focus would be on son, the whom. Which one sounds more natural depends on what you want to talk about next. If your next sentence is about the gift, go with passive 1. If it is about her son, choose passive 2. Which one of those two sounds more natural to you? Tell me in the comments. However, not every verb is transitive. Only verbs with a what or whom can be used in the passive. Be careful not to put non-essential details like how, when, or where between the verb and its object when you use the active voice. I explained this in my other video about transitive verbs, link in the description. A quick reminder: if you can't ask what or whom after the verb, you can't make it passive. Now let's see the other use. Focus and flow. The passive helps you control what your reading notices first. Look at this example. The new smartphone was released last week. Who released it? It doesn't matter. It is not important.
Nobody cares.
The important part is the phone is out, we can buy it now, we are happy.
Is the content, it's the information. That's what matters. Secondarily, where it's coming from.
Repeating the same subject-verb-object structure like A did B, B did C, C did E, it's boring. Nobody wants to hear it, nobody wants to read it. Believe me. Look at this example. Gustave Eiffel built a massive iron tower in Paris in 1889 for a fair. The people of Paris called it the Eiffel Tower. Gustave Eiffel built an apartment at the top to stay there and save time in the construction. Most visitors miss the secret apartment at the top. Now this message comes across as blah, and blah means boring.
Yeah, it's so boring.
Instead, a mix of active and passive to connect ideas can keep your reader or listener engaged. Look at this. Gustave Eiffel designed a massive iron gateway for the 1889 World's Fair. The structure was eventually named the Eiffel Tower by the citizens of Paris. These citizens now share their signature landmark with millions of tourists every year. It has a secret apartment at the top that is usually ignored. So you can see the structure here: active, passive, active, passive. Not only does this flow emphasize the important ideas and make your writing smooth, it also keeps the most important ideas together. If you finish a sentence talking about be, then start your next sentence with be, if you can use the passive to achieve this. If you practice this, using the passive will feel natural and your English will sound professional. If you can do this naturally in your spoken English or in an English exam, bravo! You'll get many points for just doing this. You keep your listener engaged and happy listening to you, and who is the happiest? You. But you gotta reach that passive. Understanding the passive is not about memorizing lists or formulas. It's about focus, flow, and variety. Once you master it, your writing and speaking become clearer and more engaging. And remember, it is not just formal writing. You'll hear and use the passive every day, from news report to texting your friend. Hey, the pizza was delivered.
If this video helped you, give it a like and subscribe. More English tips are coming. Stay tuned. We will see you in the next one.